ready for a deep dive into one of football's biggest debates.
Always up for a good football debate. What's on the agenda today?
We're tackling the greatest of all time question.
The GOAT debate, a classic.
And we've got some particularly strong opinions to consider.
Oh, whose opinions are we dissecting today?
Karim Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Now, those are two names that'll definitely spark some discussion. They know a thing or two about being at the top of the game.
Exactly. What makes this even more interesting
is
they weren't just rivals.
right, teammates at Real Madrid for years.
Shared the pitch, racked up wins together. It's like getting an insider's perspective.
Yeah, a view from the top, so to speak.
We're looking at recent articles on TNT Sports.
Okay, and what are they saying?
Well, Ronaldo, as we know, is never short on confidence.
Never, that's for sure.
But he's gone a step further this time. Flat out declared himself the best ever.
No holding back, huh? And what's his reasoning?
Claims he hasn't seen anyone better. Points to his all-around skills as proof.
I mean, he's got a point. The guy's a goal-scoring machine. What else does he say?
He even lists them out. Heading, free kicks, both feet.
Speed, strength.
Yeah, speed, strength, jumping. It's like he's ticking off boxes on the ultimate footballer checklist.
Well, he certainly doesn't lack confidence. So where does that leave Benzema?
Right, Benzema. Played alongside Ronaldo during those dominant Real Madrid years. He takes a different approach, doesn't directly contradict Ronaldo, but he suggests it's all a matter of opinion.
Which, of course, it is. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder and all that.
But then he goes on to name his pick for the GOAT.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Who gets Benzema's vote?
Ronaldo Nazário.
The Brazilian Ronaldo. Now, that's an interesting choice.
And before we jump to conclusions, I think it's important to understand why Benzema might favor him.
Yeah, I mean, they have pretty different playing styles.
Sure.
What do you think makes Nazário stand out for Benzema?
That's what I was thinking. What kind of comparison is he making here?
That's where it gets really insightful, I think. Benzema seems to focus less on direct comparisons.
Less on, like, stats or trophies.
Yeah, exactly. More on the unique stories and accomplishments that make up a player's legacy.
Interesting.
Like, he appreciates the individual narratives, acknowledges that every player's journey is part of their greatness.
And that's where their time at Real Madrid together becomes even more significant.
Absolutely.
We're not talking about some casual acquaintance here.
Right.
They were part of this incredible force, racking up those goals, those wins, side by side.
Dominating La Liga.
And let's not forget the sheer number of goals.
Yeah, their goal tallies are insane.
Ronaldo leads the pack at Real Madrid, 451 goals and 438 appearances.
Oh.
And Benzema trails closely behind with 354 goals in 648 appearances.
Those numbers are just ridiculous. A true goal-scoring duo.
Right, they were a machine, each contributing to Real Madrid's success in a huge way.
For sure.
It's not just their opinions we're dealing with, but their shared experience.
Right, their first-hand view of each other's brilliance on the pitch.
Exactly. And those differing viewpoints on the GOAT, they become even richer because of that.
Yeah, you start to see the nuances. It's not just a simple who scored more goals kind of thing.
Right. It's about their styles of play, impact on teammates, and how they adapted to different approaches, tactically speaking.
Tactical approaches. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty.
I think this is the perfect time to dig into how football itself has evolved.
Oh, I like where this is going.
And how those changes play into this whole GOAT debate.
Right, because the game has changed so much. Football's always evolving, right? It's not static.
So how has it changed? How have tactics transformed over time? And how does that impact how we see greatness?
Well, think about it. The game in the 90s when, Nazário was at his peak,
Yeah.
it's totally different from today.
In what way?
Back then, it was a lot about individual brilliance.
Okay.
Strikers like Nazário had more freedom to just roam and create those magical moments.
So you're saying individual brilliance isn't as important today?
Not necessarily. It's more that the modern game is all about the collective.
Okay.
Intricate, passing, coordinated, pressing, fluid movement between positions.
So individual skill matters, but
It does. It definitely does.
yeah,
But it's often channeled through a very structured system.
makes sense. So where do Ronaldo and Benzema fit in? They've played across different eras and seen these tactical shifts.
Well, Ronaldo, with his athleticism and goal-scoring instinct, he's thrived in both environments. Adapted his game to be a more clinical finisher within a system.
But still capable of those wow moments.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's still got that individual flair.
And Benzema, how has he navigated these changes?
Benzema's a fascinating case. He's known for his intelligence on the pitch and his adaptability.
Right.
Early in his career, he was seen as a more traditional number 9.
More of a target man.
Exactly. But as the game evolved, he transformed
Good.
a complete forward, someone who can facilitate, create, drop deep link-up play, and still score goals.
So almost more valuable as football has become more complex tactically?
Precisely. His ability to read the game, make those smart runs, and connect with teammates,
Yeah.
it's made him a vital asset in this modern, fluid style of play.
Okay, this raises a question then. Does adapting to these changes count towards greatness?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Is it about dominating one style or being versatile across different eras?
No easy answer. Some argue that real greatness is about transcending tactical limitations, excelling no matter the system. Others say mastering a specific style and leaving your mark on that era is just as important.
This is what makes it so interesting to me. It's not just about goals and assists. It's
Right.
about understanding the context of those achievements.
It adds a whole new layer to the GOAT debate.
For sure. So we need to consider the tactical landscape,
Absolutely.
how the game has changed, and how these players have dealt with those changes.
It's about recognizing their ability to adapt their impact on the sport and the legacy they leave behind.
You just said legacy, and that's key, isn't it?
It is.
It's not just about individual moments of brilliance.
No.
It's about the lasting impact a player has on the game, their team, even future generations.
Exactly. And that's what elevates this conversation.
Yeah.
We're not just comparing stats. We're exploring what true greatness means in football.
Recognizing those who shaped the game, pushed the boundaries, inspired others. This GOAT thing, it's way more complex than I initially thought.
Definitely is.
It's not just a popularity contest. We have to factor in the evolution of tactics and the impact beyond just individual performance.
It's multifaceted,
Right.
for sure. And it's about what we as fans value,
Right.
what matters most. Is it just goals, or is it playmaking leadership, or that intangible something like inspiring a generation?
This brings me back to Benzema's pick of Ronaldo Nazário.
Yeah,
Both Ronaldos are incredible goal scorers.
for sure.
But Nazario's career was cut short by injuries. Does that play into Benzema's choice?
That's an interesting point. Benzema might see in Nazário this incredible talent that burned brightly, but too briefly.
A sense of what could have been?
Exactly.
Okay.
That makes you wonder, what if Nazário had stayed healthy? Would we be having a different GOAT conversation?
A whole different debate.
Possibly.
Huh?
It highlights how complex these comparisons are. Longevity, consistency, impact on the game.
Yeah.
All factors we have to weigh.
And we can't forget the impact off the pitch, too.
Right.
Ronaldo and Benzema have both transcended football.
Global icons, brands in their own right,
They influence fashion, inspire millions, shape the whole culture around the sport.
that reach beyond the stadium.
Yeah.
It's huge. Their charisma, personality, connection with fans, it all contributes to their legacy.
It's like a cultural impact that goes way beyond the game itself.
Absolutely. They're not just footballers. They're role models, trendsetters, shaping conversations beyond the pitch.
So we're adding another layer to this whole GOAT thing.
We are. How much weight do we give to influence outside the game itself?
Wow, this is getting really interesting.
Yeah,
We're talking on-field performance, tactical evolution, personal stories, cultural impact. It's like we're building this multidimensional picture of what greatness means.
exactly. And that's what makes this so compelling. There's no single answer. It's about understanding how all these pieces fit together and recognizing that every generation will have its own GOAT.
So as we head into the final part of this deep dive,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways? What should our listeners be thinking about as we wrap up?
It seems like the GOAT debate. It's not about finding one definitive answer.
More about appreciating the different ways we can see greatness.
Yeah, and how those ideas about greatness change as the game itself changes.
It's like we've been peeling back layers of what it really means to be the greatest.
And ultimately, it's a personal thing, subjective, tied to our own experiences as fans.
You know, that reminds me, we talked about that match coming up between Benzema and Ronaldo
Oh, yeah.
in Saudi Arabia.
It's tempting to see it as this clash of the titans, right?
For sure. But we have to view it within all the stuff we've been discussing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, instead of seeing it as like a head-to-head battle for the GOAT title,
Right.
maybe we should see it as a celebration of their careers. Two incredible journeys, two different ways to approach the game.
Yeah. And they've both left their mark on football history.
No doubt about that.
I like that perspective. It's not about who wins.
Right.
It's about acknowledging what makes each player brilliant.
And unique.
Recognizing that greatness can look different depending on the player, the era, the style.
It's nuanced. And in the end, it's subjective.
So when you watch that match in May,
Yeah,
go beyond the scoreline. Look for those subtle things.
the tactical awareness.
Oh,
The moments of brilliance.
see how they've adapted to the changes in the game? Think about the legacies they've built on and off the pitch.
Exactly.
This whole debate, this fascination with the greatest of all time, it just shows how powerful football is.
It brings people together.
Starts conversations, sparks passion, it fuels our love for the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So next time you're talking about the GOAT, remember this deep dive?
Yeah.
Go deeper than just comparing stats.
Consider the context, how the game's evolved, all the things that make up a player's legacy.
And remember,
It's
subjective.
celebrate the players who inspire you, who bring back those great football memories.
Appreciate the many ways greatness can show itself.
Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep the conversation going.
For sure.
Until next time, everyone.